What's up, guys? I'm Chef Elon.
And I'm Jack Harlow. Just kidding. It's me, Chef Tolan. And welcome to another episode of Keeping It Kosher. Today we're going to be making two classic Jewish desserts. First one is a traditional honey cake, followed by the hamantaschen, which is a triangular cookie that we usually serve on Purim.
Yes, so the honey cake is traditional on Rosh Hashanah, which will be coming up soon, next week.
Yeah, whenever this airs. This could be airing during the time or past the time, but...
Yes, and the reason that it is traditional to eat a honey cake is because we are supposed to eat apples dipped in honey, and the honey symbolizes a sweet new year, because Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. So anything that we eat, we want it to symbolize that we're going to have a sweet new year. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. So it doesn't take a lot to make a good honey cake, and in fact we're going to keep it parve. Now parve means that there's no dairy and that there is no meat inside of it, so you can actually eat it with anything that you want.
Yeah, if you're having a dairy meal or a fish meal,
yeah,
or a meat meal, it can be served either or. So you're pretty you're all set to go kosher wise.
That's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our dry ingredients. So we have some flour here that we sifted. Mm-hmm. We're just going to toss that in there. Then we have our cane sugar. Next we have our brown sugar. Now the primary ingredient in here is honey. However, you do need some extra sugar for sweetness. Here we have baking powder, some baking soda. That's going to help it rise a little bit, and this is going to be a very, very moist cake, and that's kind of what we want. And then finally we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon. I like cinnamon. You don't need to use cinnamon, but we like it. We think it gives it more of that holiday flavor.
Especially for the beginning of fall. It's going to, be right for that season. Yeah. You could try to maybe experiment with some pumpkin if that's your kind of thing, but I've never tried it, so.
Yeah, you could. You could put nutmeg, you could put cardamom, you could put anything. We're just going to put a little bit of salt, because in baking, salt is crucial. And then we're just going to give that a little toss, maybe mix that up a little bit. Make sure everything is evenly incorporated. Okay. And now we're going to add our wet ingredients. So we're going to start with 3 eggs. There you go.
Well, you're supposed to do it separately and then put it together.
Yes, that's right. That's
why
right.
I'm not entirely sure, but for tradition's sake.
For tradition. So we have some oil here, some vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil.
Yeah, never use olive oil in your baking, because then your food is going to taste like olives.
Yes, it is traditional to use some orange juice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you want the cake to taste like honey, but you don't want it to taste only like honey. You want there to be some kind of contrast in flavors there. So that's the honey right there. Yeah, we're just gonna yeah, from up top, yeah. Oh yeah.
This always makes me feel cool.
It is cool. So you can tell a good quality honey based on how it drips down. So the more connected it is, the better it is.
These were some healthy bees, huh?
Yes, they were. And we stole their honey. Then we have some vanilla extract, finally. Smells good.
I love the way that smells.
Yeah, me too. You ever tried drinking it?
No, because I'm not.
Don't.
Not crazy.
Then we have some black tea, Earl Grey. We like Earl Grey because of the bergamot. You can use coffee, you can use tea, whatever you want. I like tea.
Now, I'm not entirely sure why this is included, but it's a traditional element of honey cake. I think it's probably for the color.
It's for the color, for the moisture and the flavor. So yeah, let's just give that a nice mix.
It smells good. This actually smells like breakfast.
Yeah, it does smell really good.
It smells like a continental breakfast.
You can use butter if you want, but then it won't be parve. But it might taste better. Just kidding, it's delicious.
Okay, now we're ready to add our wet to dry.
Yes.
Just gonna pour that in.
Yes, and we're gonna mix it slowly. We're gonna We don't want to overbeat our batter because then the cake will become disgusting. It'll become firm. It'll become too firm, and we don't want that. We kind of want it to be springy.
I mean, this is definitely easier to do by a machine, but I recommend that you do it by hand, so you really
feel the pain.
Feel the pain, yeah.
Yeah.
Pain and effort makes for better food, I find.
So we left a little bit of honey inside the cup because we're gonna drizzle that over the top of the cake before we put it in. It's looking good.
That should be good, yeah.
So now we're just gonna use our aluminum. You can do this in a regular sheet tray, but we like the aluminum
because it retains heat the best, for sure.
It does, yes. So we're just gonna drizzle a little bit of oil on the bottom there, just around. Maybe rub that a little bit so that when we take it out, it's easier.
Don't forget to get the sides.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Beautiful. Pour
Just
that in.
Pour that in, yep. Nice.
Here, take this. Yeah, I got it. Oh, yeah, the bigger one. Yeah, thank you. Just gonna scoop everything out.
Do not skip this, because there's so much batter left in there.
Plus, these ingredients cost money, so you don't want to waste.
Yes, never waste.
Never waste.
So now we're just gonna take some of that honey, and we're just gonna
top it off.
Yeah, just a little bit. You don't need too much. Just a little drizzle over the top.
Now we've preheated our oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna put this bad boy in there. I think it cooks for what, 40 minutes?
Yeah, about 30 to 40 minutes. Really depends on the size of your tray. You just have to check it periodically, make sure it's okay.
But approximately 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, approximately, yeah.
So once he's done with that, we're gonna put this in the oven, let it cook for about 40 minutes, and while that's happening, we're gonna show you how to make hamantaschen. Welcome back. Now we're gonna show you how to make a hamantaschen or hamantaschen. These are those triangular pastry cookies that have jam in the middle. You've probably seen it, probably didn't know what it was, and if you do, you're probably pretty excited about learning how to make this.
It is delicious, and the story behind it is even more interesting. So basically, in the Persian Empire, there was a king named Ahasuerus, and one of his closest advisors was a guy named Haman. And Haman really hated the Jewish people, and he wanted to kill all of us, which is, you know,
That's how it goes.
That's how it usually goes. So Ahasuerus, the king, married a Jewish woman named Esther, who was the most beautiful woman in all of the land. And she didn't tell him she was Jewish until she found out the plot by Haman to kill all the Jewish people. So she told the king so that he would save the Jewish people. And he found out that Haman was trying to do this, and he decided to kill him. And so the reason we eat hamantaschen is because we made the cookie in the shape of his ears. So don't piss us off because we're gonna make a cookie in the shape of your ears. That's the story.
Sweet revenge.
Yes.
Okay, anyway. Thank you for that lovely tale. Now I'm going to show you how to make a hamantaschen. I actually got this recipe from a good friend of mine. Shout out to Hannah. And let's get into it. First things first, get yourself a KitchenAid. Highly suggest that you invest in one of these bad boys. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add sugar.
Nice.
Then we're going to add our butter.
Grass-fed.
Get that in there. And we melted this down a little bit earlier just to make it a little bit easier to work with, so it mixes in better.
Traditionally, it's with shortening, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is an old school recipe, so they use shortening, which is terribly unhealthy for you. So it's okay if you see shortening in any recipe. It's a 1-to-1 ratio with butter. So I'm gonna put this attachment on. Gonna get this bad boy going. Now that's gonna mix and we're gonna keep mixing that until it becomes smooth. Okay, next we're gonna add in our vanilla. Then we're gonna add in some water.
Now this is like a cookie dough, kind of, right?
Yeah, kind of. We're definitely gonna have that kind of taste, that texture. We're gonna add in our eggs. And then my favorite part, we're just gonna adjust that so we can get it in there. Now we're gonna add our flour. Okay, I'm gonna toss that bad boy in there. This is about 4 cups of sifted flour.
Always sift your flour.
Alright, throw that back on there. So we're gonna let that mix until it forms a ball. Basically all the ingredients are gonna clump together. It's gonna stiffen. So it's not per se a ball, but it's already firm enough that we can start working with it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this up and we're gonna put it in the freezer for about 10-15 minutes. So let it cool down, and then we're gonna bring it out and start rolling. All right, our dough is fully rested. Luckily we have a blast chiller here, so it speeds up the process. Typically you leave this dough in for 24 hours, but I say who has the time? So you can even just leave it in your freezer for a couple hours. I think it works fine. So we had in parchment paper. Let's throw that away. Now we got a lot of dough here, so I'm just gonna cut this in half. Here, we can put that on the side. Okay. Just gonna throw a little flour on our work area here. Put a little flour on our rolling pin. Then we're gonna start rolling this bad boy up. Now, you wanna get it to kind of about 3/4 of an inch or an inch. I mean, depending on what you like, but I like a kind of a thinner cookie.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really like such a thick cookie.
I'm all about the filling, actually. I'm not a cookie fan.
You mean in general, or when it comes to this?
No, when it comes to this, I prefer the fill. Like, I eat the cookie just to get to the filling. You know, it's like I have to suffer through the cookie to get through the.
I mean, I like the.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
But yes, the filling is the star here, and we'll show you a couple ways that we like to do it. You can put in chocolate. Some people put chocolate in here. You could put. Some people. I don't know who had this bright idea, and I don't know why it's become mainstream, but some people put poppy seed filling in here, which I think is absolutely disgusting. But to each their own.
Yes, another classic filling is prune, and what we're gonna use is apricot jelly and raspberry preservatives.
Apricot is my personal favorite.
Yeah, I'm not an apricot guy, but I'll eat it. But I love the raspberry. Raspberry is my favorite. Raspberry or strawberry.
All right, we got our cookie cutter here. Should be good. Oh, that's the sound of our honey cake being finished. All right, well, let's get that bad boy out of there, huh?
Yeah.
Show everybody what we've done here. Look at that.
That is the way it should look.
That is perfect. Good. So now we're gonna let that rest. By the time that's done resting, this will already be done. So happy day for us. All right, back to this. So this is about the diameter I want. Okay, I'm just gonna show you. We're gonna make 2 different kinds over here. So what you do is, you take some of your filling, put it right in the middle. Now you should actually put a little less than you think, because when it's in the oven, it's going to start to rise and it might spill out, so we don't want that to happen. A little bit of our other one. Okay. It's a simple process. You take your dough. Remember, this is a triangle. So you take the top, pinch it together, take the sides, pinch it together, and boom, you have hamantaschen.
I always struggle with the triangle, but that looks perfect.
Well, you know, some of us are more talented than others, you know.
That's true. That's true.
You know, Darwin.
Yes, I'm aware. Although we have the same jeans.
Oh, you got Levi's? Or?
No, 7s.
Okay. So now we're just gonna make a couple more, and then we're gonna pop those guys in the oven. Set your oven to about 375, 380, and these don't take long, 10, 15 minutes, depending on the strength of your oven, and you're set to jet. There you have it. Our desserts are finished. We have our hamantaschen, we have our apricot and black currant, and over here, our gorgeous honey cake. I can't wait to dig in. Actually, you know what? Cut a little piece. Cut a little piece.
I will.
Cut a little sliver there. I'm just getting so excited about it. Oh, look at that. Perfect. That's exactly how you want it to look. You want that exact color. That's how you know you did it right. You know, just rip it off. Rip it off a piece. Rip a piece. Rip a piece.
L'chaim.
A little dip a little honey for a sweet new year.
Cheers. L'chaim.
Thank you. Delicious. I think that
amazing.
might have been the best one we've ever made.
It's really,
Wow.
really good.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make hamantaschen for Purim and honey cake for Rosh Hashanah. It's been a blast.
It's been a blast. Truly.
I'm Chef Elon,
And I'm Chef Tolan.
and this has been
Keeping It Kosher.